So, have you ever been bullied, made fun of, or put down? No one deserves to feel this way. So why not put an end to this? Teens are bullied on a daily basis. There might have been a time where you or someone you know came to you in tears because something had happened at school. Who knows, you might have even witnessed something like this happen firsthand. In middle school, I would oftentimes see kids make fun of children who had disabilities. They would try to walk like them, talk like them, with slurred speech. They thought this was funny. They thought that because these people needed more help than they did and were less dependent or at a physical or mental disadvantage, that it was okay to make fun of these kids. Many of those special ed kids would look down in embarrassment or pretend not to notice. And sadly, some even thought that those kids were trying to make a joke and trying to be funny, when in reality they were the ones being made fun of. So there's always a way to stop and intervene when it comes to bullying. Although one must first acknowledge that a problem is going on, find a way to stop it, and then check on the well-being of that person because it does demean a person's confidence. So first I will discuss the different types of bullying, then I will discuss ways to stop the bullying from happening, and lastly I will explain what side effects bullying may have on its victims. So to understand bullying, we must first understand that some people overlook bullying because it's not done in the most obvious way. There are two modes of bullying. There is direct, which is done in the presence of the individual, or indirect bullying, which occurs through word of mouth when the individual is not present. So an example of indirect bullying would be if you were having rumors being spread about you. One might argue that if they don't say it to your face, it's not bullying. But in participating in this action, it does affect the individual being talked about because they get treated differently by their peers and get upset that the things that are being said about them aren't true. Then there are 4 ways in which a person can be bullied. So I just explained the 2 modes, and now there's different ways they can be bullied. So according to the website stopbullying.gov, it is said that bullying can present itself in ways that are physical, verbal, relational, or done through damage of property. From it being done in a gym by your peers to it being blasted on your computer screen, the possibilities are endless. There are many ways, here are some of the ways. So physical and verbal are pretty self-explanatory, but then there's cyberbullying, which could be done through like magazine sites, even gossiping, and through any social media site. Then I'm going to talk about the different ways to prevent bullying. So the website colorado.edu gives some prevention tips for both students and staff at schools. It states, if being bullied, tell your parents. Telling is not tattling. Tell a trusted teacher, counselor, principal, or have your parents talk to the school. Do not retaliate or get angry. If the harassment is happening on the way to or from school, take a different route. One thing it didn't mention was what if you see someone getting bullied? What if you're the person witnessing the bullying? In this instance, I would strongly recommend you not be a part of the problem. And by not be a part of the problem, I do not mean don't get involved or don't be ignorant. I mean the exact opposite. Don't be a bystander. If you see something like this happening, tell someone of authority or try to step in and help the person out. Because would you like it if people were bullying you and they just watched you and walked on by? As for the schools keeping a bully-free zone, it says, establish a prevention committee, create a long-term anti-bullying plan, and raise school and community awareness. Use anonymous student surveys to assess bullying-related behaviors, and establish classroom rules against bullying, and initiate serious talks with the bullies themselves. Bullying has a side effect, and it can not only affect one's mental state, but also result in physical harm bestowed upon by either the bully or sometimes even themselves. So, So there's a strong connection between bullying and suicide. Bullying fuels and deepens insecurities, leaving individuals to often feel hopeless, like an outcast, and sometimes leading to depression. According to the Center for Disease Control, the third lead of death in the U.S. is suicide. It is said that bullied victims are 7 to 9% more likely to consider suicide. And ABC News observed that through a study, over 30,000 children stay home because they're afraid to go to school. See, this has negative consequences that might not affect the person doing the bullying, but definitely has an impact on the person getting bullied. Whether it be cyberbullying, having rumors spread about you, being threatened physically, or being made fun of, it often leads to depression and lowers one's self-esteem. A young boy from Ireland named Joshua Unsworth hung himself after being cyberbullied because of his father's occupation as a farm worker. They thought that because it was different and it wasn't like everyone else's, that it was funny. And eventually it accumulated and he ended up becoming depressed and later taking his life. He was only 15. Suicide between ages 15 to 24 are actually more common than you think. Sometimes the side effects might not be as vast as suicide, but some individuals do let out their anger by harming their own bodies. So now that I have told you about the different types of bullying, ways to stop it, and the effects that it has on people, I will state my conclusion. This is a sad reality of the world we live in today. And then, as individuals who now know a little bit more about the issue, I hope you see the long-term effects it has on victims of bullying, and I also hope that it motivates you to all help out when you see a person being bullied. It's important to address the issue of bullying and try to stop it from happening because no one deserves being belittled and broken down due to someone else's problems and insecurities. By finding the problem, fixing it, and checking on the victim's well-being by making sure that they recover mentally, emotionally, and physically, can this problem get better. So remember, don't be a bystander because you never know if that'll be the last time you see that person again. Thank you.